And we are live. Welcome, 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 everybody. Sunday evenings and Monday mornings. All right. Just pop something in the chat. Nothing too abusive. I'm not really quite aware yet. Not on fire to all right. Okay. So Scott may be joining us a little bit later. He's in transit at the moment. Otherwise, myself and Maurizio are going to run the call. So I'll hand over to Maurizio in just a minute or less, and he will go through all of his presentation. The chat will obviously be open, and you can throw in any kind of coin requests or anything that you've got towards the end. So here's a question for the chat. I don't want it to be too tricky, so I've got to try and think of a way to say it. So there's a special candle because of the time of the year that we're in. I think if I give you one more clue, it'll make it too obvious. So there's one candle that you would look at, say today, that well, you're only going to look at this candle 4 times a year. What do you think that special candle is that comes into play? Anybody in the chat? A Roman candle.
The candle of hope, man. The candle of faith.
That's it. The quarterly, bang, there we go. Yeah. So again, trading knowledge, market knowledge, everything like that. It's just about picking up these little observations. So this one is just purely, it's a calendar observation. It's the end of the quarter. You can get more information from it. So just a bit of fun to start off with. So we'll hand over to Maurizio if you're ready, dude, and we'll get going for the day.
Sure, man. Sure. Hey guys, how you doing? All right, let me just very interesting price action over the weekend, man. Like really interesting. We were saying, let me just share my screen and we'll start. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it should be. Hopefully everything works. I just had to reformat my computer last night, so bear with me if I don't have access to everything. I'm just getting all the stuff ready. Do you guys see my screen? Good?
We can, dude. Yeah.
Awesome. Let me just bring up the chat. Give me 1 second, because I don't see the chat. There you go, right here. Because I usually have 2 screens, but one is not working. All right. So, like Ian was saying, this today, 9:30, just now, is a very interesting candle because first of all, end of the month candle. Okay, so every single month we have end of the month candle, but also we have a weekly candle that closes as well, and also we have a quarter. So it finish, we have the middle of the year, we have the second quarter. On Australia, for instance, we have end of financial year. So today, right, like in Australia, for instance, end of financial year happens on the 30th of June, which today is going to be a brand new financial year. So brand new, like all businesses actually work on June, not like most countries, end of financial year is actually in December, but in Australia is actually today. So today is a brand new financial year. So very excited because market has recovered quite a bit, right? So it's a very interesting. So let's go through the monthly first, right? Very important to see the big picture, and let's have a look at the total trade. So this is from a monthly perspective. As you can see, the month in total 3 actually was kind of ranging, but it actually closed pretty good. It had a pretty good retracement from these levels here. Okay, so we were sort of analyzing on a so if you guys watch the videos that I've been putting out, like obviously every day we watch what's going on a daily basis, but then when we come down and see from the higher perspective, which is the monthly stuff, then we can actually pinpoint where the market is heading long term, right? And that's what we're trying to sort of pinpoint when we're actually going and start building our spot positions and stuff like that. So we want to start building it in a way that when the bull run comes, everything will go really, really good, right? So what we see, just put this here. So what we see here, obviously, is a fairly uptrend, as you can actually see. Like we have a monthly uptrend, had a bit of a retracement, a little bit of a range. So this month it looks pretty okay. Like these levels are actually holding back. And if you guys watch my videos on Friday or last week, we can actually see that on the dumps, the total threes, or the alts, right, are the ones that are actually getting more of the action. We're gonna do a little bit of review on that, because actually I think that's quite important. What's leading the market is Bitcoin, Ethereum, or actually the alts, right? So yeah, I think it was the video on Thursday. So if you guys go back and watch it, I think I had a pretty good theory around it. I could be completely wrong, but it's that's what we have a theory. We assess that theory by the candles that we looked into it, by the price action. And if we were right, we're right. If we're wrong, we're wrong, right? So that's kind of the whole essence of long-term trading. So total three looks good, really good. Let's go and now reduce the time frame. Let's go now have a look at the weekly. So from the weekly perspective, last week was the week that we had the retracements, as you can actually see. So the week before, so obviously a month is a combination of 4 weeks in a way, right? It's not exactly as it is. That's why this candle, today's monthly close, is very important, because it closes on the dot, like they all close at the same thing. Monthly, weekly, and quarter, very important candle to watch today's month. So if we have a look at the analysis of the last four weeks, then we can actually see it was a sell-off, right? Definitely, we were trying to position ourselves here, going to the upside, but the retracement actually went a little bit longer. However, we noticed that these levels is being hit 1, 2, almost 3 and 4th times around that level. So it is a pretty strong level here. We can actually see people that doesn't know what a level or why we talk about levels is because it's a lot of supply. What that means is people are willing to buy at these levels. If people are not willing to buy at these levels, what it means is that they have not accepted the price. Therefore, more than likely is either going to continue to go down. We started to de-risk on some of the positions. Why? Because we don't know if this level is going to hold, or we don't know if any of these levels are going to hold. So have that in mind when we actually draw these levels. We sort of go by the price action, what happens around these levels, and then because that could be like, yeah, anything could happen technically. Okay, so that's from the total three perspective. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. So let's start with Bitcoin on the monthly. Let's start with. So let's have a look at this. So as you can see, this level up here, which is the 60,000, right? This is a really important level. This is the highest high, give or take, of October 2021. So essentially, that level is holding pretty well. Like it's not going low. Like 1, 2, 3, now 4 months in a row that we are closing above these levels. Did we go below these levels? Yes, of course it did. We did. On May, we actually went down and it came back. But last month, it tried to come back and now it's closing above those levels. So what that means, from what I just said in terms of holding levels, is that people, or there's demand around these levels. Therefore, people are accepting this price, accepting that 60-ish is the new level of Bitcoin, right? That's what happened around here. That's what happened in every single market, right? You can actually see what are people willing to pay for current asset. Think about it from the perspective like real estate, same deal, right? When real estate or homes start increasing in price, and then it's getting more expensive and more expensive, and then people are willing to buy more, like pay more for a home, then everybody is accepting that price, therefore the market goes up, right? In a way, if in the rental market overall or the real estate market, people are not willing to pay that price, then the demand increases, right? And then prices start dropping. So think about it from that perspective as assets, right? So what we're trying to figure out on these levels is, are people buying at these levels, right? And then we just definitely, start getting position. So I really like it. So far, so good. It's really positive on the close. Let's have a look at the weekly. All right, this is a great candle. I was, last week I was, as I was doing the analysis on daily stuff, I was talking about how this candle should close in order for us to actually see that we could see a retracement, like a continuation of the trend. So if you have a look at this on the weekly, definitely we can see an uptrend, right? A lot of retracements, but closing above those levels. So now today's candle close were really positive from that perspective, really good retracement. Can we go back and revisit these levels? Yes, definitely we can do it. However, we have some things that I think are going to happen this week, which is the ETFs, the Ethereum ETF, and that could lead us to new highs probably, or that could actually, if they inflows of the ETFs on Ethereum are not positive, I think this could be on a range still. Who knows for how long? But so far it looks like, as of today, it looks pretty good from that perspective. From the long term perspective, Bitcoin looks really good. Let's have a look at the open interest on Bitcoin, because it actually looks very positive from that perspective. Let's have a look. So yeah, so now from the 4-hour perspective, right? And talking about that, like we just broke that sort of structure, the bearish, the short-term bearish structure, and open interest seems like are holding pretty okay-ish. So I think it's not a bad idea to start getting position if we start getting a retracement, and it looks pretty good, and it looks like this is the bottom, right? I mean, obviously we cannot be sure, but we have a high probability that this could be the bottom from this level, especially now closing on the new sort of quarter beginning, right? So this quarter could be pretty positive, right? So it's last year. Let me show you what happened last year on alts on the last quarter. So all this bullish momentum, right? All this stuff happened from that quarter, from the second quarter. So on October, give or take, so from October, this was sort of the momentum that initiated the bull run on all alts and Bitcoin and all that sort of stuff. So started on October. So, and that was on the last quarter, like in the third, sort of on the beginning of the third quarter. So from July to October, right, there was sort of like capitulation sort of deal, and then begin. All right, is that going to happen the same thing? Maybe, maybe we can actually see what's going to happen on these quarters, right? Why? And if you think about it from the economy perspective, right? Why this happen on cycles on quarters? Because now we have institution money coming in from the ETFs. They go by quarters. They analyze the returns on quarters, and we have financial year closing. Banks have to pay taxes. Institutions have to pay taxes. We'll have to pay taxes. So obviously quarters are very important. So perfect. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Ethereum looks much more positive than Bitcoin. So obviously, I think it is a lot of this, like all the eyes are actually on the Ethereum and on the Ethereum ETF and what's going to happen with everything with the ETF. So if the ETF is positive, I could definitely see Ethereum going up to new highs, which is going to break these highs, which is the 48,000 levels. From the monthly perspective, very, very positive in terms of, you know, we only have one retracement on like last month, this retracement, which is roughly about, yeah, 15% retracement, not bad at all from our retracement. It looks pretty steady. It looks pretty strong. So I think all the eyes are going to be what happened this week with the new ETFs inflows, right? If that goes positive, I think, you know, Ethereum could definitely be at a new highs and dragging all the alts all the way to a new highs as well. So obviously, if Ethereum, Bitcoin goes up, all the alts could just go ballistic. Okay, so that's from the monthly perspective. Let's have a look at the weekly. Yeah, like weekly looks out. It looks beautiful. Like what a nice retracement. What do you guys think of this? Like if you guys see this chart, do you think it's bullish? You should bearish? Should we go into the moon? We're going down. What's your expect? Like immediately, what do you guys see? Healthy uptrend, bull, lots of red, range. Yep, that's a good appreciation. The biggest candles are all green, Jeff. Yes, yes, that's a really good appreciation. So if you start translating what you see here on the psychology of the market, what people are doing, definitely there are more buyers than sellers, right? More people are willing to buy than sell, right? So from that perspective, there is a highly likelihood that if ETFs goes positive, this thing goes new highs. If ETF inflows are not as expected, definitely is going to be inflows, right? The ETF now is open to everybody, right? And now banks and all the institutions are actually setting it up, but they haven't opened it to the public. So no one can actually buy the ETF yet, okay? So we'll see what happens, right? We did have the ETF in Hong Kong going live. Which did not provide much influence, but now with these things are just going pretty okay. So that's from the weekly. So it looks pretty good. Let's have a look at the open interest. All right. So this is interesting. So do you guys see the difference between the open interest from Ethereum and from Bitcoin? So Ethereum is actually ranging. So it looked, and from the 4-hour perspective, it hasn't broken this sort of structure in order to actually go to all the way to the moon, right? Go to the moon. A lot of yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's in a range. So I think there is a lot of expectations on what's going to happen to the ETF. I think the ETF is actually on this fourth, fifth. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to find out more and if you guys update it. But have a look at that between Bitcoin and yeah, Bitcoin looks much more healthier than Ethereum from the open interests perspective. From the chart, right? It looks a little bit different, right? It looks a little bit different from here, from Bitcoin than Ethereum. Ethereum looks much healthier from this perspective. So perfect. So let's have a look at let's go through our positions because a lot of the stuff recovered pretty well in terms of especially memes. All the memes are just going nuts. So memes are leading the market. Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look what's leading the market now. So if you go to Velo Data and then you go to markets, right? All right, so let's have a look at sectors. Okay, so if we have a look at the sectors, right? We have meme stuff going nuts for the last week. You can make this time frame a little bit higher. So let's have a look at from the monthly perspective first, because we just closed a monthly candle. Okay, so L1s are actually leading the markets from the higher perspective. Okay, then you get then you get DeFi, then you get L2s, and you get memes and AI at last from the monthly perspective, which is basically from a year's in. Now, if you start dropping 2 weeks, right? Now 2 weeks is still the ones, then sort of the same performance. But then last week, if you go, now memes are leading the market. Okay. So when memes leads the market, what does that mean? So obviously it's a lot of influx, and now it's a lot of appreciation for memes in a way, put it that way. Memes are actually now the leaders of creating liquidity on exchanges, creating liquidity on creating volume. So that could lead us to to that all assets could be sustainable growth, right? But will that hold? That's going to be the question, right? So memes are going nuts, which we are positioned on some memes, and I think we're going to get some new positions, some new memes and stuff like that. We sort of want to balance our exposure to memes. We don't want to be all in memes. But then there's a lot of going on in memes this week. So let me go through it as well. So yeah, memes are leading the market. AI, funny enough, is getting up there. That's gonna be my next topic, which is all the AI stuff that I wanted to get into. Now you have the Fed, Ocean, and a lot of AI companies putting together one single token. That's going to be interesting, but I don't know what's going to be the reaction of the market. So, all right, so that's from the sectors. So let's have a look at our positions, right? Give me 1 second. Okay, so in terms of our positions from the monthly perspective, this is all the stuff that we're holding. So we're holding Femex. This Femex token looks pretty good. Yeah, looks pretty good. Let me just go from the weekly. Yeah, so from the weekly perspective, I do expect continuation when everything, especially if Ethereum is going to recover. I think we're going to expect some better, much better continuation of all this stuff, right? So Pendle had a good retracement. Let's have a look from the monthly. Obviously, with these new projects, if you have a look at the monthly, let me show you what you're going to see, which is not much data, right? So with Pendle, we already have started on August, so it looks pretty positive, right? And from the weekly, looks pretty good. I wouldn't mind adding a little bit more in Pendle. So I think Pendle, even though it did not have a really good week, is holding up really good on these levels. I think it's a lot of stuff going now, like people taking profits from Pendle, putting into memes or things like that, right? Like market rotation in terms of money. So Solana holding pretty well on this level. So yeah, if you guys watch my video on Friday, I think that was a really good place to get positioned on spot on Solana. But it's still good. Like if you're not in Solana, this is our entry right here. If you're not in Solana, I think it's not a bad idea to start getting some exposure to Solana. Solana could definitely, it's leading, like between now, like Solana and Ethereum, I think is that fight between Ethereum and Solana which one is going to win. But Ethereum is really strong, and a lot of institutions are doing all their RWAs infrastructure on Ethereum. So I think that could definitely, that's why Ethereum is so bullish on Ethereum at this moment. So a lot of data that actually is a lot of staking on Ethereum happening. Therefore, that's what I think Ethereum is pretty good. So INJ looks pretty good, guys. This is getting like it's really well. If you this is our entry, we're not leaving a drawdown here, but you can definitely enter on that one, no problem whatsoever. PH Phoenix AI stuff, yeah, pretty strong. Yeah, Anthony, we're gonna have a look at Turbo and Bread. And I'm gonna show you all the meme stuff as well. But it's new memes coming out. So yeah, one of the things with memes that I wouldn't mind taking some profit. So anyhow, let's go back to this. So Phoenix. So let's have a look at Phoenix, which is the AI project thing from the monthly perspective. So look at this. You have the launch. You have people selling into the launch. This is the first month after launching, and this is on Binance, I believe. Yeah. So these levels you can actually see all the way up here, people selling here, rebuying here, right? So you can actually see that this seems to be the new level of acceptance of this coin, right? So yeah, I wouldn't sell it yet. Definitely this one could continue all the way up, especially on the bull run. So the fact that it's holding, the fact that we're well positioned, is pretty good. I wouldn't mind adding more into this thing. So that's what we're sort of trying to figure out if we're going to add more or we're going to go into new stuff. BNB, pretty strong, like from the monthly perspective. Have a look at this. So obviously, you know, a little bit of pullback here, people trying to sell, but it's a lot of pressure buying into this. So this could, and actually gave us last month, it gave us like the first sort of indication that it want to go above 700. It retraced, but it's holding up in this level. So I think this one is still a hold. Pretty good on that one. Phil, let's have a look at Phil from the monthly. All right, so Phil from the monthly, not as great as the other ones, but I still like this one from the fundamentals from the project perspective. So I wouldn't like, yeah, still holding from those levels. Let's have a look at this one from the weekly. Yeah, so from the weekly it doesn't look that great, but it's holding these levels up here, right? All these weak levels. Let's see how this one holds, but this could give us a really good risk reward. So I still like Phil from the project perspective. If you want to get in, I think you might, yeah, definitely could get in around here. It looks like it's bottoming here. Let's have a look at this from the open interest perspective. That's an interesting one to have a look. We make these, let's make 6 hours. Okay, so yeah, look at like that. Those levels are being accepted now. We have open interest rising. Not loving it, but it's still, you know, pretty good. It looks like that level is a good bottom from this one. Obviously, have in mind that if we start getting a little bit of weakness after because that could happen as well. It's not that everything's gonna go up, you know. If we start a little bit of weakness on Ethereum after the ETF inflows, definitely we're gonna start de-risking again. Nothing that we need to do, but is one of those things, right? Like this could continue to go down. What is the level going down here? So yeah, we'll keep a close eye on this one, and everything sort of ties up to Ethereum and what's going to happen this week. That's why Ethereum is so strong. CELO, same thing as Phil. So we're not like, yeah, it is quite on range. He hasn't got like going all the way down. So it's still strong on that perspective. Nia is holding pretty well. So we got in here, I think if you're not in Nia, I think this could be one of my favorites as well. If you're not in this one, but I'm gonna talk about my favorites of the stuff that I'm looking for this week. So W, yeah, we can now see from the weekly perspective. This is a brand new, like this was an airdrop stuff, airdrop coin. We enter here, we had a little bit of drawdown, we enter half size. I think it's not a bad idea to start adding around here. I think one of my first targets will be either listing price or this high, which is 185, which is, yeah, completely doable, especially from the market cap of this coin. It's a low market cap coin. So yeah, we sort of balance portfolios around getting into high caps and mid caps and low market caps. So you have a variety of those. Ton looks really great. It doesn't seem that want to retrace whatsoever. So that's from the weekly. If we have a look at Ton from the monthly perspective, let's have a look. So this is what I mean in terms of brand new, not brand new, like from Thursday, from December. And yeah, there's no sort of, this month was actually very positive. So if you compare this month on Ton with Bitcoin or Ethereum, which it was a retracement, that tells you that it's a strength. That tells you that no one is selling. That tells you that this could go higher. So we enter around here. So far we're doing really good on that one. Let's have a look at Pepe. So Pepe is gonna do really well if Ethereum does well. So this is Ethereum beta. So obviously very correlated with Ethereum. We enter here from the monthly, we actually saw the retracement. So weekly, let's have a look at weekly. Let's see how this one closed weekly. So weekly perspective, I would have loved to close this week above this high, but it didn't. So still a lot of volatility around here. Some people sell here. So it's a lot of sellers pressures around this level. I still like it. So very correlated. This is one of the strongest memes, period, right? In terms of from the Ethereum perspective. Yeah, we're gonna have a look at Bread. And the thing with Bread and Turbo, they're so already up there, right? Like it is a high risk, high reward. So the higher you buy, the higher risk you have that a coin will drop. So that's something that you need to be mindful in terms of memes, because they could drop quite high. I'll have a look at AR. So AR is looking pretty good. It retraced there. Obviously, we entered right there, but it didn't like that, so it didn't want to continue to go up. So I think we still good. I wouldn't mind add a little bit more if we start getting onto the uptrend around here. So AR, very strong project. So from that perspective, let's have a look at it from the monthly. So yeah, from the monthly perspective, still the listing price was around 54. So we still have good way to go. Once it goes to 54, I think it will go to price discovery, and this one will be very, very interesting project long term, right? Let's have a look at AVAX. So AVAX is still holding. So now from the monthly, yeah, I was looking at this level here, right? And funny enough, from the monthly perspective, came back. So a lot of buying opportunities around here. That means people are willing to buy at these levels. So I still like AVAX. Let's have a look at things from the weekly. Yeah, the weekly looks strong. Not much people selling from here, right? So I think this one will go high. Yeah, so still like AVAX, so still holding that one. Token, same deal. Yeah, that looks very similar. So Token, pretty much the same thing. We're still holding that one. RWA goes very attached to Ethereum as well. There's a lot of things, the RWA sector a lot of stuff runs on the Ethereum network. So once Ethereum inflows, yeah, this week is going to be very interesting. If inflows are positive, I think we are in the bottom. If inflows are not as expected, I think we can see a little bit, like we can actually see a little bit of a bearish on all the stuff. So we might need to de-risk. Simple as that. Foxy, another meme. We are there. Pretty good token. I think you can actually enter here. Better of our entry around here. And yeah, just the fact that this one is the first meme on linear network, this one will, yeah, could go really good one. So this is what I mean in terms of risk reward, right? So obviously this is high risk, high reward. Why? Because it's just started, like this was listed on April, brand new, right? But the fact that it's listed, and if Ethereum continues on, and if the market continues on a bullish run, this is going to give you a really good reward. And the risk is probably that if this one drops from this level, so people will start selling, right? If we compare that with Turbo, yeah, let's have a look at Turbo now. Turbo, but I want to see it in Gate.io. This is why. So where is Turbo? Gate.io. Okay. So Turbo, where we at? Why I load Gate.io? Because this is sort of the first one that actually listed this thing. So Turbo, from the weekly perspective, it was listed on Gate.io on May 2023. And now from listing price, this is actually up 270%. And it went all the way up to 666%, right? From the listing price. Now, Todd, yeah, we're not in Turbo. I'm just making a comparison with Foxy. Why? Because Foxy is just being listed and Turbo was listed on May. So it's one of the things that in terms of risk reward, this one looks pretty strong, but it's a meme coin still, right? How this one is going to hold. So if you enter here, your risk reward is high. Why? Because the price has it's been on these levels before. So there is a possibility that this could go back to listing price, which is 70% down, right? But it's another chance that this could continue on, right? So with memes, it's like any asset, right? What are people willing to pay at these levels? Okay, so if people believe that Turbo is going to go to friggin' $1, yeah, more than likely, but you still have the likelihood that this could drop because the price has been there before. Now, if we talk about Foxy, right? Foxy, brand new sort of listing here. So same thing in terms of if this one drops, right? If this one drops, then you can drop 30% or even a little bit more than that, right? 58 or 50, but the price has never been there before. People are willing to buy at this level because after listing, this is sort of the level that is holding back. Now, what is going to be, what is the high risk, high reward? What is going to be the reward on this one? Who knows, right? Can this be the same thing as Turbo? Who knows? But the fact that after this thing goes up to price discovery, this could pretty easily hit these levels up here, giving you the 200 and 600% out of these ones, right? So that's the difference between new stuff, but also it's risky as well. So, you have just as the risk on both sort of tokens. So we're not in Turbo, but then isn't just sort of making a comparison of it. Hope that makes sense. Let's have a look at Woo. So Woo holding pretty okay-ish, not loving it, but we really like this project. We've been liking this project for a while. So from the monthly, yeah, had a pretty bad month. Not a lot of buyers at this level, but still holding that one. Let's have Ondo, of course, looking fantastic. Yeah, Ondo. I don't think you're gonna get lower than these levels on Ondo. And the reason why is if you look at the weekly, right? Yeah, pretty, uptrend. What a pretty chart, man, from the weekly stuff. Like, yeah, I think that healthy retracement, then loads back, new people buying at these levels, and then this might continue go on. So I think Ondo is really good. We might add into Ondo, to be honest. So we bought here, we add a little bit more here. Yeah, it's not a bad idea to add around here. We'll see how it goes. Sui is not doing that great, but they're doing a lot of airdrops. Now it's going to be an interesting thing what's going to happen on these levels. So we'll keep an eye on this one. We might de-risk on that one. Kudos holding pretty well on this weekly stuff, on this weekly support. So I think that one's still good. We added 2 here, so our average price around here. So yeah, INA, let's talk about INA. INA is looking to hold right here. So let's have, obviously, if we go monthly on this one, you're only going to see like 2 or 3 candles. Let me show you. So yeah, it's not much info. So you need to just go a little bit like weekly and assess from a different perspective. So I was looking at INA. This week I'll do some more work in terms of how's the USDCE, which is the stable coin from INA, take it from that perspective. And then if that keeps increasing, what that means is we have appreciate, like this token will appreciate more because this now will become the INA sort of blockchain. So long term looks good from that perspective. Price action, it doesn't look good. Let's have a look in this on the open interest to see how the reaction. So yeah, looks steady and open interest is rising. Now, once we break this, that could be a bottom for INA, definitely, especially if we have good inflows on Ethereum. This could be a bottom. Wouldn't mind buying more, especially from the project perspective, and it will bring down our average price. And yeah, I like it. So is doing pretty good. What a good close on the weekly. Very strong. So I think this one will follow Ondo. Yeah, we've been talking about these RWS stuff. So yeah, I think I really like that one. Let's have a look at AVAC. Sorry, Vanry. So Vanry seems like it's bottoming out there, but let me have a look at this one from the KuCoin perspective. So yeah, Vanry's bottoming right there. There's sort of retracement, still good, not loving it, but holding that one. Jupe, very correlated with Solana. So we'll wait to see how this one is, but I think I still really like it. Mantle, yeah, good recovery from Mantle. So Mantle from the weekly now close above that. Definitely, yeah, now we can actually see that. We can see a retracement. They're all very similar. The one that I really like is Mock. Mock is doing great. So we enter here. Look at this. What a good retracement. I might add more on Mock. So Mock is doing great. Yeah, all meme stuff. So let me show you quickly what we see in memes. So this is all our memes. We have Bitcoin here, and memes are just, they all want to break. They all seem that they now want to break. And now what's the strongest thing here? This is the strongest one. Turbo. Yeah, so Turbo is the strongest one. Would I go into Turbo? Interesting. Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at Turbo. Not loving it. No, yeah, I wouldn't mind going into more better high risk, high reward, because now think about it from the perspective. Let's have a look at Turbo, right? Let's have a look at Turbo. With Turbo, and this is my take. So let's load Turbo again. So Turbo, let's load up KuCoin. No, Gate. All right, so Turbo, if you enter here or if we enter here, you're going to have a lot of people trying to sell at these levels. Okay, a lot of people to sell at these levels. Why? Because imagine if you enter here, or you enter here, or you enter here, and you see your asset going ballistically high, you're gonna sell something, right? So you're gonna have a lot of sellers around this level. So you're gonna have a lot of fight. With new stuff that might have better risk reward, like Foxy or Mog, once it goes into price discovery, then you don't have that sort of, you don't have people. Yeah, the only people that it will sell is the ones that actually bought around here. Okay, so that's the difference between this type of stuff in terms of going back into this token. It's a tough one, but yeah, we'll have to do more work in terms of if I go back into it. Same thing with bread. Same thing with bread. Bread is going ballistic. Yeah, but let me show you bread on Gate.io. All right, yeah. So bread, same deal. Even though it's the strongest thing right now, would you is going to be a lot of sellers around those levels. I wouldn't mind. I like bread more than Turbo, to be honest, in terms of what they're doing like in differently. Anyway, so all right, so that's all the stuff that we have in terms of. Let me just quickly show you what I'm looking at for this week. So what are my favorites and why? So all right, so my favorites obviously Ondo, Pendleton, ENS. So let's have a look at ENS. So ENS now is just broke this level. Okay, so I think ENS definitely on the back of Ethereum. If Ethereum goes positive, this one will just more than likely hit new highs. Okay, we just broke this level on the monthly, very strong level to break. And if we go into the weekly, what a close from this week. What a really close on this week. So this is technically a breakout trade, right? We might enter in this one today, guys. So probably, but bear in mind that we have Ethereum, right? The Ethereum stuff happening this week. So this could be really, really people. This could be people buying into the news. And if we buy here, we might have a retracement. But if Ethereum continues on, this one will definitely hit the new levels, man. So I think ENS is one of my favorites. LDO was on my list, but I think the SEC now is actually going after them. So I don't think if this one's going to have the same momentum. In terms of AI, RNDR still in my books. So I haven't get into RNDR. So RNDR is still in my books. FTM is still in my books as well. It's holding pretty well. And yeah, in terms of new things, right? Yeah, it's too bad that over the weekend we didn't get into this one, but I'm gonna see what going to happen in Ethereum this week. But I think CRO, the new one that it just was listed, is risky because it's a lot sort of like it's being listed just the past from June. So we only have 2 weeks of data. However, have a look at this on the daily. And I was looking this one pretty close on Friday. Unfortunately, this happened Saturday and Sunday, right? But we just broke the listing price, okay, on the daily aspect. So the fact that now is getting stronger, it's getting momentum, I think this one could be a really good one to get into. So yeah, searching that one for a while, but I wouldn't ban on Saturday getting around here. I was going to get on Friday around here, but over the weekend stuff could either go really bad or it could really good. So that's one of the things that. All right, AGI. Let's have a look at AGI. But AGI is the same aspect of you know the AI stuff merge with Fed, Ocean, all that sort of stuff. So I just want to wait to see what's going on. So yeah, let me just bring up the chat. So with all the AI stuff, I want to wait to see what happened with this merge, because AGI, Ocean, right, Fed are going to go into this merge of this new ACI token, right? Once that happens, then when the news happened, which is about here, all these tokens experience like a good, huge rise, like 47%, right? But then people are selling off before the merge. Like the merge is very interesting. It could be very positive, or it could not be very positive. So we're just gonna wait to see. That's why they are on my list, but I wouldn't go in there pretty like as I speak. We're going to have a lot of unlocks as well. Tomorrow I'll put a new list of the unlocks that are actually happening this month. There's a bunch of unlocks happening, so I think we need to be aware of those ones as well. So yeah, so in terms of favorites, obviously, yeah, SRO, CK as well, sort of the same behavior. Arkham still in my books. Really like, fundamentally, this project is actually pretty amazing, to be honest. Have a look if you haven't looked at what Arkham is, and I wouldn't mind start getting position on this level here. I might start getting position today on this one. So WIF. Let's talk about WIF, because we got out of WIF. There was a lot of sellers, a lot of stuff happening with WIF, and WIF actually is getting back out there. So it's all around here. We enter here. We had to do risk, but I wouldn't mind, I think, going back into this one. We'll look on chain to see how this one is going, but we'll might enter in this one as well. Probably half of the perfect. So Jade has ATH. Let's have a look at ATH. Interesting. I'll add this one into, I don't know about ATH, to be honest. So much stuff happening. All right. ATH, from the listing perspective, what a great, holding pretty well from the listing, right? So probably, yeah, I'll do a little bit of research on this one, but I really like it. It seems like no one is selling, right? And price is getting accepted here. Probably looks pretty well from the technicals. Yeah, that's pretty interesting from the listing. Like, it seems like that price is the new king, so people are buying here. So I'll do some more research on that one. So yeah, definitely. All right, so I think that's it for coins, guys. I think it's I don't know if you guys have any questions, or so for Retario, thoughts on Retarios ever getting listed on SEX? Have no idea, man. Like, honestly, have no idea. There's a bunch of guys, yeah. So yeah, I think I'll do a really good video tomorrow explaining this. So CAS, right? This is also my another favorite. I missed it completely. I was going to enter around here, but now CAS, now there's a new memes going on to this network, and it seems like CAS is getting a lot of attention in terms of the technology. So that wouldn't mind, like it's either getting position on spot on CAS right here, or looking into those new memes that are actually being listed on these things. Especially new memes that are actually listed on these stuff usually tend to do better than the memes after. So I think they're going to get listed today. And obviously, if you buy memes, which very high risk, you need to understand how to buy them and all that sort of stuff, how to breach money and all those things. So I think we're going to talk about that in terms of the leverage like bootcamp that we're doing. So yeah. Anyhow, that's the last thing that I have for you guys for today. So yeah, I think
That's an absolute banger, Maurizio. That's a full-on solid hour of just pure alpha. Nice one. Nice one.
thanks, man. Yeah.
Really was.
Yeah, it's going to be very active market, guys. Very active market. We might start doing some interesting plays, like a small plays, right? No, not because obviously most of the stuff that we're doing is long term and positioning well until we get this full cycle. But it's a lot of opportunities out there to actually go like, you know, 1 day, 2 days, getting 10%, 15% here and there, and you know, we start banking a lot of opportunities right there. So yeah.
Yeah. And there's going to be triplicate, if not tenfold, those opportunities that will be available to people that know how to find those opportunities themselves, of which myself and Maurizio will be fine-tuning a group of people in the 6-week Leverage Trader Bootcamp that starts on Wednesday. The access is shut, but if anybody watching this replay hears this like before Wednesday, you've got like literally 48 hours, then I can probably get you in still. But then come Wednesday, that will be it. The 6 weeks of the course will have begun, and we'll be looking at position sizing and risk management on Wednesday, and I'm super excited for that. So there is crossover between the 100X and this Leverage Trader Bootcamp. You can think of this Leverage Trader Bootcamp as a toolbox that is fine-tuning your skills. So you'll be able to just take a lot more from what Maurizio says. You'll be able to independently find more and more trades yourself as well when we're in leverage season, versus say where you're in the 100X club, which is perfectly fine, and you can just buy and sell and just follow the signals. That's what it's there for. And in the 100X club is all set up to give people that are brand new that first kind of entry into the world with a guide holding your hand, which is Scott and Maurizio and myself to a degree. And you follow those buy and those sell signals. The more advanced traders in the group, they're in there and they're picking some of their own trades and some of their own coins. So that's what that course is going to do. So I think, Chad, I think it's 1,500 for the course. You can get all the details. Let me just, I haven't got anything prepared here. Let me just grab the link for the replay. So here's a link for the replay of the last event. So awesome stuff. Thank you again, Maurizio, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday for our first.
Yeah, me too, man. I think that's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of fun, because obviously you know, we're gonna do a lot of like good leverage plays. Like, you know, you can do high time frames, so smaller time frames, and that's kind of what I do pretty much like on a daily basis, right? Like small time frame stuff here and there, but then you like, if you use leverage responsibly and you understand leverage, you can use leverage to your advantage instead of getting wrecked, right? So obviously that's kind of the good thing about leverage. Like leverage is positive, right? It's like credit. If you have a credit card, you know how to use it, fine. If you have a credit card and you never pay it, then you get wrecked and you get paid on interest, and same thing then. So yeah, I'm very excited for the next weeks, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Loving it.
All right, see you in the group. Thanks again, Maurizio.
All right, guys. Have a good day. Okay.